Hey, what's up? Jesse here, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. On this episode, we're going to be covering a how I shot it walkthrough on this shot here, which was taken at a venue during a wedding at the end of 2024. Now, this was a shot that, I had done for the first time, meaning I had this opportunity to be way up higher for bride prep, which I don't typically have that opportunity or haven't had it yet. So it was a sort of a right away light bulb moment. I knew what I wanted to do. I wanted to get our bride down there. I wanted to shoot from up high. And this was her ceremony space. So this was a great opportunity to kind of make use of this large grand room and really execute a shot that I think is unique and probably hasn't been done very often at this venue. So I did two versions of it, as you can see, one with just the bride, and then of course I brought in the groom as well. I thought it was a beautiful shot when I had created it the first time with her, but I also didn't want to deprive them of having that moment together as well. So we created it two different ways. The technique was the same, but essentially what it comes down to is, in order to really get that type of light and that kind of control, we got to have that light source fairly close to our subjects. At least that is how I'm accustomed to doing this. So what I used is my Magbox 24-inch Magbox Pro from Magmod, and we had it gridded, so a little extra control on that. I didn't want light spilling all over the place. Now the challenge becomes, obviously, when we generally do our composites, we're used to shooting from down below, like eye level. And what happens a lot is you don't tend to see much of the light pollution that is hitting the ground or the floor around your subject. So even though you have that control, you're still going to get some spill on the floor. And typically with compositing, when you're doing that from eye level, you don't really have a problem when you're taking out your assistant and the light modifier. But being that we were from up above, elevated, and shooting down, this was going to be more of an issue. Now, I still shot it the way I always shoot my composites, which is after I execute the couple of shots and I can see in the viewfinder that we're good, I will have my assistant walk out of frame with the light, and I'll retake the same shot without moving. That's going to be my plate shot. However, knowing that this could potentially have been an issue, I had my assistant set up in a way so that that modifier was in a position essentially in the frame that I would have a much easier time removing it, whether it was just through manual work in Photoshop or through AI, where it was going to give me a lot easier time to do that. Because if you can see the position in the original shot where the assistant is, if he had been a little bit more over to where all those rows of chairs would have been, it would have been a lot more difficult to get that out. I'm not sure how AI would have handled that, especially with the generative fill. So, knowing those things in advance is helpful, and just kind of having him positioned in a way that, using the AI in that area where it's just merely the tiled floor was going to give me a much better chance at executing the shot. When I did do the initial composite using my plate shot, I knew right away that it wasn't quite going to work out, because even though we had that light super controlled and dialed in on just a couple, whether you realize it or not, there is spill that hits the floor around them. And so when you lay the plate shot over, which is completely dark, and then you go ahead and kind of mask it out, you do see a distinct difference between the before and the after, which typically doesn't happen. In this case, it did, and it's just a learning lesson that if you do this type of shot, leave yourself in a position where you might have a better chance at taking out your assistant and modifier, using the AI tools that we have available to us. So in this case, AI definitely saved it. We could have probably done this manually in some way, shape, or form with cloning, but that's really a difficult task to pull up, in my opinion. And I think in this case, this is definitely something where you want to leverage that tech that we have available to us. And what we end up with is two really beautiful portraits, one of just the bride and one of them together. And I know they're going to cherish this shot forever, and that's what it's all about. So hopefully this has been helpful, teaches you a little lesson to be a little bit prepared if you're going to pull up this type of shot. I look forward to seeing you guys on the next episode, which is going to be all about how to set up, or how we set up our reception lighting to give us the best chance at getting some really great dynamic images. So look forward to seeing everyone on that episode next week. Until then, have a good one. Hey, WPPI is coming up right around the corner, so if you do have plans on going out there, think about going to my photo walk on the 17th from 2:30 to 4:30. That's PW10. We're going to be covering everything from artificial to natural and how to light for your couples. In addition, Magmod is joining us on this photo walk by giving us a starter kit to give away to one attendee at the photo walk, which is awesome. So thank you, Magmod. And at the conclusion of the photo walk, we'll be hosting a session for anyone who's interested to join in and do a demo of Evoto AI, which is the software that we use to retouch all of our images. And it's an absolutely incredible software. So we want to give you a little bit of one-on-one time there, retouch some of the images from the photo walk, show you all about the application itself. And that's free of charge, of course. So you can come join that Evoto walkthrough after the photo walk, and we'd love to see you there.